All right. Welcome into the official podcast of Go Racing Sim League number 45. Ken, this is not a super long podcast tonight. We're just going to do a quick season overview, I guess, for what's coming.
Well, we say it's going to be short, but we'll see what happens when we get done with this thing.
Yeah, I'm going to bet this one's short. Seeing how I'm sick and you just woke up, I don't know that we're going to have the energy for anything major tonight.
Yeah, we're still recovering from a pretty good weekend, I would say, that our team had. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a little mixed for me. So, Friday night I got diagnosed with COVID, which was sucked because it was the biggest race weekend of our year in that we had the 24-hour race the very next day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know several members of our league raced with different teams, and a lot of us shared kind of how things went. But, Ken, I guess, even though we've already probably stuck it in everybody's face enough, I'll let you tell everybody, how did we do this year, Ken?
Well, believe it or not, we had a pretty good weekend. Shane put us on the pole of our split and all that, and our team drivers did a really, really awesome job, and we battled from a couple laps back and grabbed the lead probably, 6 hours ago or something like that, and hung on to her till the very end and all that, and we led by a lap and a half by the time the whole race ended, and kind of handed it to the boys. They did one heck of a job out there, and we made some major scheduling changes during the race and all that to make sure we had some faster guys and making sure that you, Kevin, were feeling okay to handle everything. We didn't want to drain you out completely and all that, and got to be a long night for our team. And congratulations to Shane and Kurt and Rob and you and myself and all that. And it was fun having a great win after that.
Yeah, it was. I think the hardest one was the triple stint when I did that one. Yeah. I think I was halfway delirious by the end of that stint. I'm going to be honest.
You sounded a little loopy. Sounded like you were having. You weren't with us completely, but you did a hell of a job when you were inside the car, and I got to hand it to you for not feeling as well as you normally do. Everyone on the team, including yourself, did an awesome job out there.
Well, we were third place when I went to bed, which was about 11 at night, I think. And I woke up and ran back down and got back on the computer, and you all were in first. I was like, sweet. So we had some luck go our way. There was a really fast team that was in our split that got taken out midway through, probably.
They got slobber knockered, man. I told that to Shane, and he started laughing. And they were definitely the cream of the crop. And they got taken up by a GT3 car. And if it wasn't for that, we were in big trouble. But I think we would have had a good. We were looking at solid podium most of the race anyway.
Yep.
And things just fell right for us.
Well, we won't bore everybody talking about our race, but I do want to point out that it was the sponsored by Go Racing Sim League team, so it was kind of good to for people to see when they looked. It was Go Racing Sim League, so maybe it'll draw a few more people in. I'm not sure, but Ken, I don't know if you brought a drink down, but I said let's have a quick toast.
I did not, and I'm sorry, but enjoy.
Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. This is tequila, and me feeling loopy as I am already. We may not make it long on this podcast.
Did you take any NyQuil before that?
No, that'll be later.
Okay. Hello.
Tequila's that's a Cabo Wabo tequila. I can't speak already. Okay, moving on. So real quick. Also, in terms of the 24 hours and the league, we were sponsored also by a couple of sponsors. We had coffeeandglittermom.com on the car, also associate sponsor of our league. And I also still want to thank Main Street Adventures, Julie at Main Street Adventures. If anybody's interested in any kind of vacation planning. I got COVID because last week we flew to Disney World for her to take a class so she could help people better plan their Disney trips. And I'm assuming down there in all of that travel and is probably where I got it. Oh, well. Shit happens. I'm not one of these people that lives scared, and I'll be fine. So, okay.
You got it in the airplane probably is where you got it.
Yeah, there was a lot of coughing going on. Okay, so all I want to really do is talk about the season that starts this week. Can you believe it starts this week, Ken, already?
It came quick, but we really think about it. We've been really off with the league since early November.
Yep.
Late October or something like that. So,
well, we did the sort of the
we did the
teams
endurance racing, the 2-hour endurance racing, which was a lot of fun, Kevin, and actually I think that helped our team a lot.
Yeah.
I got to know Kurt a lot more, and it really showed that how he was to work with for this 24-hour race. So for our team, I think that was a huge asset.
Yeah, we may do it again next year, depending on how the season ends. If we have a gap, that was a little something. Not everybody in the league participated, but a large number did, and that's great. So we'll look at that. So let's go ahead and So this Thursday night we have our IMSA GT3 series kicking off at the same track where many of us spent 24 hours. In our case, it's going to be a much slower card this time around, so it's going to feel very, very slow. But so just some overall things. We do have a lot of new members this season as well, so I want to go over some of the rules and things just so everybody's aware. One of the main rules that we've had since day one, I'm not changing it, is that whatever you drive in the first race is the same car you have to drive every race throughout the season. Now, only throughout the 12-week season.
12-week, okay.
You can switch it once the next 12-week season starts, right? Yep. That's fine, but during that one season, you have to stick with that car. Now, this season, we actually have 2 brand new cars that we didn't have when we last ended. They're not new. They're kind of the same car, but they're new versions, I guess you would say. So there's a new Audi that's been released as well as a new Ferrari. And both of those are now in our league. We're racing those. That means the older Audi and the older Ferrari are gone. You can't race those, not in the league race. So the Audi and Ferrari are new. The Porsche, the BMW, the Mercedes, the Lamborghini, they're the same. They haven't changed. So that's one thing. So, Ken, what car are you going to race? Do you know?
I was planning on coming back with the same car we ran last year. I was thinking about running the Porsche again, but I don't know, maybe that Audi. I don't know.
Well, I enjoyed the Porsche. I felt like I had more control, but I really enjoyed the Audi when I ran it one season. So I'm kind of curious about the new one. So I may give it a try. I have learned. I don't think it makes a big difference in terms of me finishing top 5s versus top 10.
I'm going to be slow no matter whatever car I decide to drive.
But again, they got those 2 new cars, so everybody pick. You don't have to declare anything. It's just whatever you drive the first race. That's what you're in. So for anybody still kind of thinking about it, you've got a couple more days. But again, no changing for that 12 weeks. Speaking of 12 weeks, keep in mind that what we do is we run all year for the most part. But we break it into 12-week seasons, but then any race that is also an official IMSA race that week in real life, we're racing that as a separate season too. So it's the seasons within the season. So like last year, Richie, he mainly only came and raced those races, and he won actually the year-long championship. He said he thinks he's going to do it again this year. I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while, but we'll see. But so just keep in mind,
he comes back. I'd love to see him come back. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Just keep in mind you're running 2 seasons in one. Anytime those come up, and we'll talk about that a little more. There is something I'm changing this year, Ken. Nothing major. I think for the most part, this has come as sort of something a lot of people have wanted to a degree. Now, exactly how we implement it and all that, maybe that's been up for discussion. But I think the general overall idea is not bad. So in iRacing, there's one thing with road racing and iRacing that's different than the real world. And that is, in the real world, they do have safety cars in road racing, right? It does happen. Right. They don't just have local yellows. They actually have, we have to throw a yellow flag, and everybody has to get in line. We can't do that in iRacing to a degree because that would be really ugly. If it threw a caution every time somebody spun out, it might take us a long time to get going. So we're not turning on cautions per se, but I'm going to implement what I'm calling the safety car rule. And what that means is in the first 2 laps only, Mr. Schultz, the first 2 laps, if there's an incident that blocks the track and prevents a majority of the cars from being able to go through, we will throw a caution. I'll have it programmed on one of my buttons. I'll throw the caution, and it will be a full-fledged caution. So it means there will be a pit stop involved if you need it. So if you did get damage, you can get it fixed. It's not a fast repair, right? So if you had bad damage, you're still going to have bad damage. but you could get fixed in those first 2 laps only. Then the restart is single file, not side by side after that. It'll be a single file restart. And then if there's another one that happens, tough titty.
That's right.
Right? It's only going to happen. We only did it once, if it, at all, and only in the first 2 laps. So if we get to the 3rd lap and it happens, then, oh well. But again, it's not if 2 cars get in a wreck and spin off the track. It's if we're in a situation, especially at certain tracks like Detroit, right, along the Belle Isle, where when there's a wreck and it literally stops everybody, and then the first 4 or 5 cars get to just take off. And
it played to effect last year, I think, twice during the whole season.
2 to 3 times, maybe. I'm going to be very cautious on this, right? I'm not just going to throw it. Now I will need everybody to help. Like, I need multiple people to pitch in and say, because maybe I'm through it and I can't see it. Maybe you're through it and we can't see it. I need people to say, hey, there's a wreck blocking the track, throw the caution, right? And we'll have to go by that. If we go back and look and review and see it really wasn't, then we'll have to figure out what to do after the fact. But I am going to implement that. Hopefully we don't have to use it. Odds are maybe once or twice, like you said. And it really is very track dependent, because some tracks there's a lot of grass and it doesn't matter. But those tracks where there's not, then we're going to do it. So
more your street road courses where you're going to notice that a lot more.
Yeah, definitely on the street course. Definitely. So again, the safety car rule, first 2 laps only if the track is blocked, single file restart on the green, and only 1 time per race. Period. So the only thing I was thinking about is, okay, does that do anything with the fuel strategy? And I don't know if it does or doesn't.
We're not worrying about that,
because it's going to be a full-fledged yellow, so it's probably going to be a couple of laps. It's going to take a while. It's going to eat into the race, unfortunately. That's why we only
give people who want to think about it if they think it's going to be a problem.
Yep. But you're going to lose a lot of positions if you're up front, so it's just going to become part of the strategy. That's just what it is. So everybody's equal there, right?
Yep.
So
we never plan on fuel strategy. It happens if it happens. It's something that we don't set out during the beginning of the season and said, hey, we're going to run this many laps because we wanted a fuel race. We didn't even look at it. That's something we don't.
Yep. Now, just so heads up, and I don't know how accurate this is, but it looks like we're hovering right at 30 drivers this season.
That's great.
That have said, yes, I'm racing. Right? Now, I think there's probably several people that never responded. It's hard to tell because I asked for 2 things. I said, please put yes or no and your name. But I have 3 people that just said yes or no and not their name. So I don't know if then later on they came back and did it again and put yes and their name. So they're getting counted twice or what. But it looks like we're around 30-ish people. So we're still recruiting for those of you who might have a few other people interested. We got a few more days before we kick this off. Not that they can't join later, because they sure can. But remember, what's our rule? No new drivers after week 8? 7?
No,
10. Week 10.
10.
The last 2 races of the last 2 races.
Yeah.
So
11 and 12, they can't join us.
Right, but we do drop 2 races. So as long as you make it in within the first couple of weeks, it's almost like you still could race for the championship.
Yeah, possible.
Yep, very possible. Just updates on when everything starts. I think I did make a slight change to one thing, very minor. So practices will start at 7:30 Eastern p.m. on Thursday night, 6:30 for you and I, Ken.
Yep.
This is where I changed it a little bit. Qualifying used to start at 9 Eastern. I've got qualifying starting at 8:50.
Oh, okay.
And the race is starting at 9.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Back it up a little bit, so it doesn't take up a little bit extra time.
East Coast people, it's 11 o'clock before we get out of here, and if they got to get to work early the next morning, we'll give them at least a couple extra minutes of snooze time. Yeah.
So that is different for everybody. So keep that in mind, because I know some people jump in, they'll practice a little bit and walk away and come back about qualifying time. In this case, qualifying has been moved up 10 minutes to 8:50 Eastern. So the race starts at 9 Eastern.
Yeah, we don't want to see you just jump in either right at qualifying time. We want to see you get some practice laps in. It's, I'm not sure if we're doing open practices on Wednesday like we did last year.
Yep, we will.
If you're included with that, it won't be quite as bad. But if you weren't there on Wednesday, don't come in during qualifying and expect the race. We're probably going to say, hey, next week.
Yep.
So.
But yet you're right. We will do the Wednesday night practices like we always have. I need to set that up for this week. Actually, even though we've done so many laps on Daytona, I need to practice it in the new car because
in the different car, yeah.
We were.
I haven't driven a
hybrid.
GT3 since last November.
Yeah, that's right. We did the LMP2. Yeah, you're 100% correct. So yeah, we'll still do those every week. Participation was hit or miss. Some people didn't like us having it open for recruiting purposes because then the race would get ugly and people would wreck out. But I think we still leave it open because I feel like the hosted sessions is what's picked up most of our teams.
Yes.
Right. Not publishing it on Reddit, not putting it out there, on iRacing. It seems like that's how we got the most. So we'll probably still do it that way as well. So again, practice starts at 7:30 on Thursday Eastern. Qualifying starts at 8:50. Race at 9. It is still fixed setup. That was something else we discussed. Do we look at maybe changing the setup also per track? That was something I really thought about. Like there are some tracks that are made more for the high downforce. There's some that are better for low and some for middle. And I thought, well, maybe. Just maybe where there's tracks we know for a fact this is a high downforce track, we use the high downforce. And then I decided against it because it just leaves too many places for mistakes on my part or for people to get upset and not be happy because they didn't like the setup. So we're just going to do like last season. We're sticking with the endurance medium downforce for all tracks with 60% fuel. Exact same as we did before. Those of you that are new to the league, the 60% fuel on that setup basically means on our standard 1 hour races, you've got to pit at some point. That's pretty much what that works out to.
Yeah.
So we did have it at 50 or 40, 50. We had it at 50 and there were some issues. Some teams had to pit and some didn't. So we went to 60 last season halfway through the year and we'll stick with that. One other small change I made when it comes to the bonus point structure. So we had all the areas, bonus points are all 1 point, whether you led a lap, whether you were the fastest lap, whether you were clean the whole race. Everything's 1 bonus point. Matter of fact, here they are. We are doing 1 point for the fastest lap, 1 point for leading a lap, 1 point if you're clean and have no incidents, 1 point for most positions gained, and 1 point if you're on the pole. What's missing there, Ken?
That'd be leading the most laps.
Yes. So 1 point for leading the most laps. I decided to get rid of that because usually during the race, the fastest lap usually also leads a lap, also leads the most laps, and they by the way the bonus points are structured. Just so you know, it starts off at 50 points for first place, then it goes to 45 for second, to 40 for third, for 36 at fourth, and then from fourth back, it's 1 point difference. So 36, right. 35, 34. So the first place person already has this big gap they're getting, plus they were getting all these extra bonus points. So I just want to tighten it up a little bit. I thought about even reducing some of that gap in the points, but I decided to leave that alone. But that was one of the one little thing I changed is I got rid of leading the most laps, which we also got rid of in the LMP2 season, if you remember.
Can I get a bonus point for being the slowest car?
No, but I have a question for you.
Yeah.
We have 1 point for most positions gained. I've thought about adding a stipulation to that.
You got to qualify.
You have to qualify.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Because, I guess you could qualify and turn a crap lap still, but I just thought about that because that does give, that is a game you can play to try to gain the most.
Yeah.
Right? I'm always up for that because I'm always qualifying in the back, but damn it, I'm qualifying. I'm just not getting anywhere, right? So that's the one thing. What do you think? Should we add that stipulation to it? If so, we'll say it right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make sure if you want to do it, you got to qualify.
You have to qualify.
And make it an honest effort. Let's all be gentlemen out here.
Right. So you have to qualify for that.
Or ladies, if We actually do have a new. I don't know who some of our new drivers are, so
Or some of our old drivers may now identify. We don't know.
never even thought about that. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, come here.
Okay, so we're calling that a fact. That is the case now. If you want to get a bonus point for most positions gained, you had to qualify as well. You had to qualify.
Yeah. Good idea.
Okay.
I like that idea. I think it's great.
There were some questions around teams. We're going to do teams again. We're going to do it for fun, but not for points. So, I encourage everybody to join and create teams. I will do separately calculate the points for the team so we can have a team champ at the end of the year, but there's no awards for the team other than just a pat on the back and bragging rights.
Yep.
Right? So we'll do that. And I know there's all kinds of different ways we can do the points. And to keep it super simple, mainly just for me, I'm just going to do an average. If you have, and by the way, what we say, no team larger than 4.
Yeah, we can do that again.
But so a team of 2, a team of 4, we're just going to do an average. So whatever the average is for your team every race, that's the way we'll do it.
Your dog wiped out too?
She's always wiped out. Nala. She's not even budging. So yeah, we'll do the teams again. We'll keep it separate. So in that situation, everybody, teams are reset. I know some of you had some teams in the past. Reach out to me. I don't care how, whether you just message me in Discord, whether you email me at GoRacingSim@gmail.com. Just let me know what your teams are. I'll put it in. You can even let me know after this week. Doesn't matter. It's, again, just for fun. So let me know your teams. I know Mikey reached out and told me his team. He had a couple of new people in his team.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we'll definitely do that. We are giving awards still for winning. So our sponsor, Main Street Adventures, has put up basically $40 for the winner that's split between the Pro and the Am. So the Pro winner gets 20 and the Am winner gets 20. It's going to be your choice. Do you want it as an Amazon gift card or iRacing credit? You can get it either way. So I'm going to put that out there. Whenever whoever receives those, they can choose which way they want it. And we'll also still give out the $20 for the Safe Driver Award. And that's whoever finishes at the end of the season with the least amount of incident points, right? And we do that by what, Ken? How do we judge that?
Safe Driver Award is done by laps, so keep running laps.
But what's it called? The IPL.
Incidents per lap.
Yep, the incidents per lap. That's what we look at. If you're ever trying to figure out what we're using, that's it.
If you crash out, get your repairs made. Yeah, you have an outside chance of getting more points, but you have a better chance of getting out there and reducing that IPL.
Exactly. So even if you do wreck out and you can't gain a position on the track, you can still lower your IPL by running more clean laps.
Yep.
So that's part of the reason we have this in here, because we want people. I know it sucks to run around with a broke car that's not as fast, but we want to try to keep everybody as engaged as possible.
And how many incidence points are we getting this season?
So no change there. Good question. So on every track, on every 1 hour race, we have 16 incident points before you get a penalty. The penalty is what, a 40-second stop? We thought it was a drive-through, but
it's a 40-second stop, I believe, is how iRacing has it set up.
It's however iRacing has it set up. I don't have anything to do with what the penalty is, but at 16x, you're going to get the penalty. It makes you go into the pits, probably do a stop, and then every 2x after that would be another penalty.
Yep.
Now, on our official races, which for those of you that are new to the league, our standard races are one hour each, but if it's an official race, they're an hour and 20 minutes. On those, I bump it up to 18x per track as the start, and then every 2 after. So you get. And
this week at Daytona is the 80-minute race.
So it is 18 exactly. Yep. We start off with an official hour and 20 minutes. And that is going to be 18x on this one.
Yep.
So that's a good point. I didn't actually have that written down, so thank you for pointing that out, because that is something. One other thing, I sent an email out earlier today. I also reached out to everybody. Just we said, hey, typically we put everybody in classes, the pro and the amateur. Now I know there's some new people in the league. Again, just so you know, the pro and the amateur is just a way of dividing the people during the race. And we still race together. We race the same cars. positions matter regardless of which class you're in. But at the end of the day, the championship points, we are splitting them, and the amateurs have their own champion and the pros have their own.
Yep.
But still, this is the important thing to understand. Don't get mad if you're a pro and there's an amateur in front of you fighting you for a position, because that's still a position that gives them more points.
Yep.
So it kind of is the best of both worlds. You still are truly racing each other, but if you're slow like Ken and I and you want to feel like you're semi-competitive, it gives you a way to also break it down and, okay, I didn't win the race, but hey, maybe I won the amateur for the race, right?
Yep.
So that's how we do that. And there were some people that I know we classified as a pro, and just so everybody knows, again, to be a pro, we started off by looking at several things. One of them was IPL. Not IPL. I rating. If your I rating was a 1550 or above, you were a pro. That was based on, when I looked at the statistics, that the average I rating for road racing it was 1550. That was the average.
Yep.
So anything I said above average puts you pro, anything below puts you amateur. Now, for people that raced with us for a while, we also looked at their results and made some adjustments. If you're brand new to the league, if this is your first season, it's IPL only. That's how we did it, right? Why do I keep saying IPL? I rating only.
I rating only. Unless you ask to be a pro.
Right. If you're an amateur, you can ask to be a pro. We will make you a pro. But if you're a pro, you're going to have to run at least a season before we move you down to amateur based on I rating if it's your first time around. Now, for those of you who've been racing with us for a while, you've been classified as a pro, but you're running at the bottom tier of the pro and mostly competing more with the top tier of the amateurs, then those we will allow, per review by the admin team, may be a switch. So, for example, we had one, right, Ken?
Yep. Chris Payne,
Chris Payne, he reached out and said, hey, I think I would like to be an amateur. He was one of those that was, all statistics, everything pointed him towards the pro, but he was consistently racing with the tops of the amateurs, and no problem, made that move.
Nope. I think it's a great move for him, and I think it'll be more fun for us to have another driver that we can have a good battle with, and he's a great driver, and but I think he fits the amateur status better than he fits the pro status.
Right, but there's other people that might be in that little group. I don't know if some were joking or serious, like Sandwich. Not Shane. Shane's staying where he is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Sandwich, Chris Sawallich, he joked. I don't know if he wants to or not. He's probably one of those that is in that area. That could. Ed Adams, if he wanted to, he could. But also, I can see Ed Adams fighting for a win in the pros. So, let us know.
Yep.
We'll make the change if we don't think, Chris Miller. No.
No.
Sorry, dude. We may have to create an alien class. For
alien
like
status,
But anyhow, so
not just him. There's some other hot shoes in there. That there's a guy named Lewis at Mighty Fast, and that Derek Wynn guy is. You keep your eyes open. That boy's going to have a good season.
Well,
I think.
Those two, they pretty much dominated a lot.
Yeah, they did.
They were kind of the silent but violent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
They're just kind of hanging there all the time, right? Chris would come in and win race after race after race, but they would always be right there. And then when he didn't win, they would win. It was But I saw a lot of improvement out of a lot of people, so I'm interested to see. But anyhow, So you let me know.
And who knows, with the new people we got coming in, how good are these guys going to be? And I can't wait to find out.
And we've had some really good that showed up for a few races and disappeared that are liable to maybe show back up.
Yep.
So
Aldo Secklin,
we're just going to have to see. So one thing I want to put out there, I need some help. This is very specific help. I need somebody that's kind of graphically inclined with computers. So, I have the winners poster that I create after every race. And basically I built a template in GIMP, which is a free graphic editing tool that, has what you see like the GoRacing League and all that stuff. And it's got basically there's stuff that can't be changed, and then I can change the title, the winners, and I change the background image of the cars. I do all that. I would love to see a much more professional, prettier, as I like to say in the South, a prettified version of that. And if anybody's got a little time on their hands and some ability, I do want it to be in GIMP though, because that's the tool I have, and I can now. If there's another free tool out there that I can use, maybe that's fine too. I just don't want to have to go buy a tool. But if there's something, if somebody would be more than happy to make us a just the template, where basically all I do is I change the track, I change the winners, I put the little, here's our movers of the race, safe drivers of the race, and I put the picture. But the frame around it and all that, that's the stuff I'm looking for. So if there's anybody out there that's got some time and got some talent and is willing to do that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it, because I've never been happy with mine, but I also, A, don't have the time to play around with it, make it better, and B, don't have the ability. So as I said, it looks like a poster a third grade person put together, and I would like at least a sixth grade education to have a look at it for me if possible. So anybody out there, let me know. I appreciate the help. That's kind of all I got to say on that one. But I do need it.
And it don't need to be done that night. It can be done the next day or a day and a half.
Well, they don't need to make the poster. I just need the template.
Oh, it just need a template.
Yeah, I need.
There's got to be somebody in this league who's good at that stuff.
I just want somebody to make that back. The header and the logo and all that.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll still do the poster.
I got you.
Yeah, they don't have to do the dirty work.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, I just need the template. I'll populate it. Every race. That I don't mind doing. Real quick, let's talk about the schedule real fast. I know we've already reviewed this before, but I'll go over it again really quick. Starting off, first race is an official race, so it is an hour and 20 minutes at Daytona. Now, one of the things we did do, please go to the website, look at the start times, because I did mix them up based on some feedback. We have some that start in the morning, some that start at night, some that start during the day. Don't worry, for those of you who are freaking out about all the night racing we did last season, toned that down a whole lot. Daytona, though, is one that is nighttime. Just a heads up. It's, late evening, 5:30. Then we do the Red Bull Ring. That's a 9 a.m. morning race. Silverstone's 2 p.m. Bathurst is 11 a.m. Brands Hatch is 2. Spa at 9 a.m. Sonoma at 2. Sebring at 2. Road America at 9 a.m. Circuit Zandvoort. I've never raced that track. I'm interested to see that one.
Not yet.
Is a 2 p.m. Le Mans, 7 p.m. So we're doing nighttime at Le Mans. And then finally, Long Beach, which is another, Sebring, by the way, was also another official IMSA race on the 14th. That's another 80-minute. And then we end at Long Beach, which is our last official one of season 1.
And we're doing one-time speed. We're not multiplying the speed.
No, nothing like that. It's standard 1X, just, different start times. So cooler tracks versus hot tracks. And just so everybody knows, I typically try to make I use realistic weather and try to pick the date and time that we're really racing. But some of these tracks, since right now is winter, they won't let you even pick that day because it's too cold.
You couldn't do a Road America right now.
So I pick whatever the first available date of that year that they let me do it. So we might be racing in February. They may not let me pick till mid-March. So that's the first date I pick, just so everybody knows.
If we tried to race Road America in real life now, you better have your snowmobile.
Well, they haven't even finished the rain model yet. I don't think they've even started on the snow model.
Although, even if you raced Nashville right now, you'd have some problems down there too now, wouldn't you?
It's been horrible down here. But today it all melted, and the son of a bitches are still out of school tomorrow.
No way.
Still out of school. I'm telling you, they don't send them to school here. I mean, it's amazing. When I was a kid, we never got out. They get out for everything. Which means my wife is also out because she worked for the schools. And she's actually – so they were off for 3 weeks for Christmas holiday. They went back to school for 4 days, and now they've been off for a week and a half because of snow. Okay, Ken, I don't have a whole lot left, especially talking about the IMSA again. I just wanted to go over – basically, make sure everybody's aware. These are the rules. Here's the few little changes we've made, a couple of tweaks. Most of the stuff staying the same. I'm really excited, looking forward to racing with everybody again. I kind of missed everybody, to be honest with you. Luckily, we did have the 24 and all the prep and all that to kind of, sort of get us in place. But now I do have one other announcement, I guess, Ken. I hate to wave a white flag, but I'm going to wave a white flag. Yeah. I think we're just going to have to cancel the NASCAR Oval on Tuesdays. And I know we've got a couple drivers in our league were here just for that. That's the only reason they were here, and I hate that. But I want to call it now to give everybody time to find a league that's running them. Just didn't have the interest. I guess we just won't do anything. I mean, I'm not against if this is very last minute, but if we still had enough interest to do Indy again, because Indy is now back with iRacing officially, they've signed back on. I know we had a little success with Indy because it's also a combination of road courses and ovals. We could still do the Indy. I really enjoyed the Indy. I had fun. But, I'm not going to do it unless I have a decent commitment from people. So let me know.
We can't be out there with 6 or 8 cars.
Which we never were. I don't think we really were last season.
Towards the end of the season, we were.
We were around 10 almost the whole time, I think.
It got pretty weak at the last couple of races. And, it's still fun. Don't get me wrong, Kevin, but it's a heck of a lot more fun when you got 15 cars out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm kind of saying. So, if I get like 15 people out of the 30 that say they'd be interested, because we would run the road courses that are scheduled. And Indy runs, I think, more road courses than ovals at the end of the day.
Yeah, sad to say.
But so we would definitely do that. But let me know. If not, we'll just shelve Tuesday for now. Maybe the reality is, Ken, I know we're oval racers. But the reality is, we've built a road racing league.
Yeah, we did.
And
but
so
we were hoping we were hoping some of you other guys would make that transition over to oval, like I had to transition to this road course tournament stuff.
But we had a gentleman join our league this season who runs an oval league. Yeah. And when he applied, his actual saying was, I tried to do road late racing in my league, and people just aren't interested. And I said, well, I have the opposite problem. Yep. I've tried to start the oval up and just don't have the interest. So odds are Ken, Shane, myself will probably go find some other oval league to run in on the off nights and stop trying to force the oval into this, because it's just not seeming to work. And there's so many out there. But again, I'm not against doing the Indy because it's a combination. So everybody let me know if that's something you really want to do. But I need some strong commitment, to do it. We could definitely look at doing a true Indy 500 event, because that'll be something coming up as well. But anyhow, sad news. We're waving the white flag on the NASCAR. I apologize for everybody, but I don't want to waste your time. And right now we have 7 to 8 people that said yes. So it would be a waste of time for you to start it and maybe skip out on something else you could have been running. So if anybody knows of a good oval league out there that Ken, Shane, and I might be interested in running in, let us know. Preferably not one that has age restrictions, because we kind of are all over the map on the ages.
That's true. Although
he's not there yet. He couldn't
do his like the old bastards at 35 yet.
Oh, he ain't close to that.
Oh, he's got to be close to that.
But anyhow.
I'm past that. I should be in the old geezer league.
Well, I think that's kind of what the guy that joined us, his league's called, something like the old something league.
Yeah, I'd fit in.
Okay, with that, Ken, I guess you got anything else you want to add?
No, I just wish everyone good luck this year. Can't wait to see some faces that we've raced against previous years, and looking forward to see a lot of new racers and all that. And if you get an invite to our weekend podcast, which will be starting up again, please join us. We'd love to see you drivers out there. So.
For those of you that are new, I think our podcasts are generally a little more energetic than this. But I've got COVID. Ken literally woke up 2 seconds before we started the podcast, and we just finished a 24-hour race. So a little drained right now, but we'll bring more energy and hopefully comedy and fun next time around. But plus we'll have more to talk about, because we'll talk about what actually happened in the races.
That's right.
All right. Well, with that, say goodbye, Ken.
Goodbye, Ken.
Peace.